Welcome to the Detonator tutorial for Wipeout HD Fury. Detonator is one of the new modes introduced in the Fury expansion pack. It's best described as a cross between zone mode and an arcade style shooter, the object being to score as many points as possible by clearing the track of mines and bombs while successfully navigating it at increasing speeds. The event lasts until you either complete all of the stages or your craft is destroyed. So before we start looking at how Detonator mode actually works, let's take a look at the HUD. This part of the HUD you will probably be most familiar with. It's virtually identical to the one in normal zone mode. It displays your score and the amount of shield energy you have remaining. This part of the HUD tells you what stage you're currently on. Detonator events are split into 14 stages, each stage lasting one lap. Every time you complete a stage, your zone increases, so each stage will be faster than the last. The Detonator craft is armed with a reloadable cannon. This part of the HUD shows you how much ammo it currently contains. The cannon holds a maximum of 15 rounds, and each round consists of 2 shots. There are also a number of blank sections just above each shot. Whenever you score a hit with a particular round, the section above it will light up. You can use this to determine how many hits you've chained together, but more about that later. And just as a side note, there's also an ammo indicator on the back of the craft too. The craft also has an EMP weapon that can be used in emergencies. It works in a similar way to a Quake. However, unlike the cannon, the EMP weapon has to be charged before it can be used. We'll be looking at how to charge it a little later on. This part of the HUD will display just how much charge it currently has. And now let's look at how you actually go about scoring points in Detonator mode. Your main aim in Detonator mode is to destroy as many of these mines as you can while successfully navigating the circuit. To do this, you need to use the cannon that your craft is armed with. You can fire it by using the fire button. There are 2 ways you can fire the cannon. You can either hold the button down for rapid fire, or you can tap it very lightly to fire 1 round at a time. There are benefits to both methods, but on early stages you want to restrict yourself to firing 1 round at a time. Each of these mines is worth 100 points. However, for every mine you destroy without reloading, their score increases by 100. So the first mine you destroy will be worth 100 points, the next one 200, then 300, and so on. And bearing in mind that each round fires off 2 shots, you can destroy 2 mines with a single round. So in the event you manage to destroy 2 mines with each round and hit with every single round, the last mine you destroy can be worth as many as 3,000 points. You'll see an example of this here. Keep an eye on each mine hit and the score gained from each one. If you manage to successfully hit a number of mines in a row, you'll gain a chain bonus. This demonstrates one of the advantages of firing off single rounds rather than using rapid fire. If you use rapid fire, a lot of shots are going to miss their target. As a result, you won't hit as many mines in a single clip, thus reducing your score. It will also be very difficult to gain chain bonuses. Rapid fire will have its uses in later stages, but on the earlier ones, you just want to be using single shots. You'll gain a larger chain bonus if you chain 10 shots together. And the largest chain bonus if you manage to chain all 15 shots together. You'll also earn a trophy the first time you manage to do this. Let's take a moment to talk about reloading. Once you've completely emptied your clip, your craft will automatically reload. However, there will be occasions where you may want to reload manually. To do this, hit the absorb button and your craft will reload. Do remember though that this will reset the amount of points gained from each mine you hit. Knowing when to reload in Detonator is absolutely vital to gaining a high score. For example, you're likely going to find yourself in a situation where you're entering a very mine-populated section of the track and you've only got a couple of rounds left. Reloading takes a short amount of time, and during that time you're completely vulnerable to running into mines. So firing off those last few shots and then ploughing straight into the mines while your craft reloads is not a good idea. What would be a better idea would be to manually reload before you reach those mines, and then you'll have a full clip ready to use on them. This is easy enough to do on low stages, but when you start getting to the higher ones, it becomes a real challenge. Be very careful though when using rapid fire. While the clip will automatically reload once empty, you will need to let go of the fire button before it will. Before we look at the EMP, let's take a look at some of the other objects you're going to encounter on the track. Every stage a new set of mines will spawn. Any that are left behind from previous stages will turn black and remain on the track. These old mines are nowhere near as useful as the fresh ones. If you shoot one, you'll only gain 50 points for it, and any subsequent ones you shoot in the same clip are also only going to be worth 50 points. However, they will contribute to a chain bonus. So because of their reduced value, you want to prioritise fresh mines over old mines. As well as mines, every stage you will also encounter a bomb. These are worth far more than normal mines. The first one you hit will be worth 2,000 points, and each subsequent one will be worth an extra 500. If you manage to hit all 14 bombs, not only will you gain a lot of points as a result, there's also a trophy for it. Now in the event you find yourself needing to reload and there's a load of mines in front of you, you need to be able to fall back on your EMP weapon. In a detonator event, all the speed and weapon pads on a particular track are replaced with EMP pads. Running over one will allow you to add some charge to your EMP. Once you hit 4 of them, the EMP becomes available to use. Now currently the EMP has the minimum amount of charge required to be used. As a result, its effectiveness is going to be severely hampered. The default button to fire it is L3. As you can see, at minimum charge, the EMP has a very short range. You can charge the EMP weapon further by hitting more EMP pads. Here you can see the EMP is now fully charged, and its effect will be markedly different. So at full charge, the EMP has a vastly increased range. You can also fire the EMP between minimum and maximum charge, but remember, the less charge it has, the shorter its range. Now ideally, the EMP should only be used in emergencies. While it may clear the track ahead of you, anything it hits, you will only gain half the amount of points for. And you'll also not gain cumulative points for mines or bombs. I'll finish off with a few extra tips. Your cannon shots are able to reflect off of walls. You can use this to your advantage by firing around corners. If you're approaching a long corner and you're concerned that there's a large number of mines there, move over to the inside and aim for the opposite wall. Your shots will bounce off the wall and will hopefully clear out any mines before you even see them. Once you start reaching the later stages, you want to switch to rapid fire. As there are such a large number of mines, your primary concern should be keeping your path clear. Your major problem though will be your need to reload. What you need to do is to keep an eye out for pockets without mines. If there aren't any, use your cannon to clear some. Once you move into them, manually reload no matter how many rounds you have left in your clip. You need to take all possible measures to make sure that you don't need to reload right as you're coming up on a large cluster of mines. If you do find yourself in that situation, you need to be ready with the EMP, and that means making sure it's always charged. Finally, I'll leave you with some tips for the Hold Your Fire trophy. This trophy requires you to reach stage 10 on any detonator event without firing your cannon. The good news is, however, this means you can still use your EMP. However, this is not really as good an idea as it sounds. Every stage has a maximum number of mines that can exist at any one time. If you leave them be, these mines will remain in place for the whole event. And this in turn means that you can memorise their locations and avoid them every time. Now if you decide to use your EMP, you're likely going to destroy a large number of these mines. This means that the next stage, that number of mines are going to respawn, and they're all going to be in new locations. I find the best track to attempt this trophy on is Corridor 12. It has very short laps, and half the mines will actually spawn down the other path. Leave as many of the mines be and memorise their location. So thank you for watching and good luck with the game.